Hi, I'm Carcina.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Corsino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. What's up? What's up? This is something I've actually believe I've addressed before, but in small terms. I kept it light. Now, everybody wants to know about this situation. And back when he was going through his divorce and separation, back in 2022, we touched on this on the Patreon. That's neither here nor there. Chris Reed came out of the blue and decided he wants to talk about what happened back in 2022 when he was messing around with Kennan Thompson's wife. The guy who spoke up for him on the show had him like a best friend on the show, a partner. But yet, you chose to be a snake and try to sandbag him. But what I'm going to do is let Chris talk, and then I'm going to talk. So that way, it's going to flow a lot better. Now, here's the thing. Chris was the partner that reminded Kennan the most of Kel as far as the characters and everything else. He was really good for SNL, though. You know what I'm saying? So I understood exactly everything that was going on with Kennan Thompson. 100%. I knew everything that he was doing in this situation, in this moment, that made it stand out tremendously while others were trying to find ways to sabotage or hold down. Now, let's let this man explain to you what happened. We're going to listen to him tell his side of the story.
Draw your own conclusions.
That's kind of this, I guess, been around for a long time, about 4 or 5 years now. And, but, you know, I've never addressed it. I know a lot of people talk about me dating Kennan Thompson's ex-wife and how that came to be, you know. And I'm going to just tell it to you straight, man. It wasn't no plan. I saw everything that everybody said. Every single thing that everybody said, I saw it, you know. And bottom line is, I'm not the type of person to scheme on a person. I'm not the type of person to even date somebody that like one of my homies has dated. You know, this is a very unique, nuanced thing that happened. You know, we were all cool. You know, I was never like hitting on. It was never nothing crazy until it got crazy. You know, bottom line is, I you know, while I was at the show, I had some pill issues. You know, I had some pill problems. Nothing too crazy, but crazy for my black ass. You know, and I was even selling some to the people, so some of my castmates. I'm not gonna snitch on y'all motherfuckers, man. But it was really funny to me that like I would be around on this shit, and people would talk shit about it and talk shit about me, and I would hear them because some of that Adderall shit got you fucking superhearing and shit, but wouldn't like help me. I would have panic attacks, wouldn't like be concerned about me or nothing, just would talk shit. And it was crazy how somebody would watch you destroy yourself. This lady was the only one to call me on my shit, help me with my shit. She helped me with my therapy journey, and she told me things about her life that made me look at a lot of people involved in it differently, and in that time we fell in love, man, and I felt bad from the start. It's always felt like an emotional double-edged sword for me because I really love everything me and Kennan did, bro. I really appreciated every piece of work that we put together. I think that we were a great team, and I hate doing something to somebody that I know would hurt them. No matter who they are, no matter what they've done, that's just not how I'm built. Like I'm not built like that. I don't feel player for this shit at all, But I did choose love, and that's what this story is. And it made me look terrible. It made me look terrible to people that I love, and a lot of my fans. So I didn't know how to do this without doing this. I'm in therapy, nigga. So like, ever since I figured out that I'm more sad than angry, all my anger issues have turned into tears, nigga. Like it's crazy, bro. But to all the fans, I disappointed. You know what I mean? Like, just know this was not something. I don't feel like a pimp. I don't feel cool about this at all. Besides the fact that I found someone that makes me feel like I didn't even know what love was for real, and I just felt like I couldn't miss out on it. And love is not sensical. And me and him talked about it. And I'm not gonna say, and we were cool, and we continued to work for a year after we talked about it. And I remember it specifically being said, you know what? Let's just keep this shit under wraps. And as soon as everybody found out, shit changed. But look, listen, this is the type of thing that, and you can have a conversation with a nigga about that shit, but she can switch on a dime. You know what I'm saying? Like, because this is so serious. And now that I'm in that kind of love, I understand, I understand it completely. I felt like there's probably outside of not doing this at all, there's different ways I could have went about this shit, but I was in love, and I was, and I was spiraling out, bro, and that's what happened. And then by the time everybody found out and the world found out, I was out of there. SNL, And so when I got punched in the face, which we will have jokes about that for sure at the show. Most people who know me from back home would know that, I would be retaliating in a heartbeat, but not this time, bro. This time it felt like fair enough. Anyway, this wasn't meant for laughs. It's just meant for me to just put some narrative on something that a lot of folks is already talking about, but won't bring it up to me at all. I'm sorry for the people I disappointed with this. Just know it wasn't to be a dick. It felt like a love I couldn't miss out on, and I had to shoot for it. And I've never put anything above my comedy and my work. But I felt like I couldn't move on to the next stage of this creatively without addressing this. So if you don't like seeing grown men cry about hard choices they made, this is going to suck for you as a video. This is going to suck to me to look back on. But 28th, caveat, New York City, I will be starting to address all of this. The whole show is not going to be about this, okay? The whole show is going to be about love. So you know what? I'm gonna have little sheets on the table. You tell me what you've given up for love. You tell me what you sacrificed for love once, and let's just talk about it together, whether it's good or bad, And I'll see you on the 28th at the caveat, baby. Peace.
So, once again, he haven't learned his lesson. Once again, probably need to get hit in the other eye. Because all this was a promo for your show in New York at the Caveat, right? So you want to use this moment to embarrass Kennan Thompson again publicly to promote your show at the Caveat. Somebody who was a friend to you and never crossed you, and you decide to get down with his wife, who he got 2 kids by, and now you with his wife. Oh, I just got a text. So, he played the biggest. Everybody know it was a move, dog. It was a move. You played on this woman whose mind wasn't right. Now, let's get to the beginning with this. Now, let's get clear. First of all, it's me, by the way. In case y'all looking, Chris, you want to look? Still the same guy. I met Kennan Thompson in Chicago, okay? First time we ever met Kennan. Everything else has really been like me and Kennan are not the best of friends. Like we don't hang out. Like we have no problem. It was all cool. Hung out with him. Hell, he was more close to 00 when he was here than me. Because they have common interests. But I don't want to say too much here. But I would say him and Kel's activities when they used to hang around, you know, the stuff they used to do. Let's just say Kennan Thompson. He wasn't a dater back then. You know, he was hanging out in Atlanta with Too Short and all these other dudes and his guys in Atlanta. They went to strip clubs. You know, it was a whole different environment. Okay. The vibe that, you know, I would be on, but that was their move. That was their vibe, their energy was to go in that direction. So when they decided to go there, he wasn't really in relationships. He was a big dude. Girls wasn't really checking for Big Papa except for he was in the strip club. And that's when he would get all that love. Kel would get all the female attention. The girls love Kel. Oh, Kel. They just said, oh, Kennan's funny. He the big dude. So he had to move like a big dude do. That's why he was cool with Nick. Him and Nick Kennan started hanging out when Nick first started coming around. You seeing Nick got all them chicks, ain't got a place to stay. Nick, I got an extra room in my condo. Nick was, word? You'll let me live with you? Yeah, bro. You come and live with me. Shoot, you had the other room. I got the other one. We work together. No problem. Nick thinking this is a genuine act of kindness, which it was, but the whole move was for you to bring the hoes over. They're going to be wanting to see Nick and now, I'm quite sure they got friends. You going to hook me up with one of them friends. Then I'm smashing and you smash. And we tag team. All night, WWE. So, well, we're going to get to all that before everybody start throwing fault around. Now, after all of this, Nick becomes a big star, right? He's making movies, doing stuff. He came back for Kennan. He helped Kennan get Fat Albert. He took Kennan where he go before Kennan got SNL. Now, Kennan's on SNL. Him and Kel both went for the audition. They chose Kennan, didn't choose Kel. and they're rolling on the show, right? Kel and Kennan ain't speaking. We already spoke about that earlier. So, but they are now. I'm talking about back in those days. So when this guy came along, Chris Red, he reminded him a lot of Kel as far as how they played off each other with the energy and the jokes. And these two became close friends. Now, the problems really ensued from everything around Chris. Chris is the type that was funny and did stand up and was do impersonations and all these different things. But when he get to his life, it was miserable. He was a miserable human being. And he played the sympathy card so somebody could always take care of him. Yeah, I talked to Tony. Yeah. So now Chris is going to be like, that dude know me. Know of you through people. You've always played the sympathy card. You begged that your need for sympathy. You become a predator for that sympathy. That's his drug of choice. So no matter what he had to do, he'll tell a sob story about his real life and how he's just being comedy as his escape. But he's so down in real life. You played the sympathy card. Your whole play was sympathy. You pull on the heartstrings. Yes, you could thank Tony for that too. And now, what happened to you? Well, how did it all flip around? How did we get here? Kennan got real comfortable with you because nobody had ever crossed him like that. And nobody would ever cross him like that with his wife. But put a pin right there. We're going to get back to that. Sympathy play. Let's stay there. Chris, sympathy play. Now, let's go back to Kennan meeting this girl and dating this girl. Like I said, I told you about this in June the 5th, 2022. Kennan, she was 17 years old, dog. And you was like 27, 28 years old. This is why you didn't know about it, Jersey, yeah. This is why you didn't know about the situation, as it is on the Patreon. She was 17 years of age when you were dating that woman. And you kept it on the low, Kennan. She was 17. This is why you didn't want nobody to know. You was 28. She was 17. You was a big dude. And she helped you transform your life. She was 17, dog. And what did I tell your homeboy who know you? And was like, oh, yeah, Kennan said, what's up, man? He saw the video you did, man. And he was like, I know that dude from somewhere. He's like, that dude, man, he sounded like he know me. He was like, oh, he want to kill them people. He was like, oh, okay. But he know me from back then. He don't know me now. But tell him it's all love. Kennan, it's always been love, bro. And I appreciate that. Because those guys who was around Kennan were guys I knew that was around Cousin Nick and everybody else. They was on Wildin' Out. They worked on the Wildin' Out crew. You know, Mac Hodges, all those guys. Hate to name drop people, so that was the last one I will name drop. And let's get into this. She was 17. So he kept all of this quiet because she was 17 years of age. When I talked to you and you was just dating this girl, I knew it was going to be problems. See, I told them to tell you. I don't know about that. That one. Because she looked young. Now, I ain't trying to throw you under the bus, but you was doing big boy stuff. And Hollywood wasn't looking for oversized black men. Better yet, black men couldn't get those roles. And you got passed on for some roles that should have been yours. And you couldn't get them all because they said, well, you know, you did good. And you auditioned for some roles, for movie roles that you didn't get, that you should have had. But you didn't get them because of your size. And you know, as your agent told you, they went with a smaller size guy who they felt was more athletic and could do physical comedy, where they don't feel you could have done those things. So he was, oh man, I get it. Man, I ain't trying to hear that. All right, I'll get the next one. Then screw that. So he auditioned better. He was funnier in the position, and they wouldn't give it to him. And you ended up getting Snakes on a Plane with Samuel L. Jackson. You got a role on Snakes on the Plane. So let me go there. The girl name is Christina Evangelina. Okay. Now, your guy introduced you to her. Danny Estrada, he the one introduced you. She was a quote unquote model when they got introduced. What you didn't know is Danny Estrada, who's a talent agent, was putting you with this woman so y'all could be a power couple. It was going to highlight her. She never loved Kennan. Let me put this clear right now. This woman never loved Kennan Thompson. She was there for the bag. He probably is peeled out. This chick was there for the bag and attention. This was supposed to highlight her and boost her career up. Yes, this was a business relationship. And I knew it was bad from the start. So they dated quietly. They was dating since she was 17. Now, I'm not going about no stature of whatever, but they were dating at 17. I know that for a fact. Kennan used to get her at first to come to the talent show, talking about she's part of the talent. She was underage, and they couldn't give her a drink. I remember these times. And then she was getting anything she wanted after a while. But Danny Estrada, the talent agent, made that happen for you. So, your talent agency told you, if you wanted to be taken seriously in Hollywood and you care about acting, you needed to take up dieting and lose 50 pounds. And then you would be the biggest star in Hollywood. So Danny Estrada came and got you set up with this chick. And you fell for her. She was fun. She was funny. All this stuff. She was helping you with your diet, making sure you got there. So you went and got the surgery, and you was going to stay on a strict diet that allowed you to eat a healthy way, right? But you couldn't let nobody know about the relationship yet until she was of age, because you tend to almost 11 years older than her. So no one has no real information really about this woman, except for where her family is. They from Canada, over there in Nova Scotia, that Halifax. Yeah, her grandfather had a construction company in New York City. They the ones that put up the Twin Towers. That's the only thing ever. Her father was in cleanup and restoration back in Canada. So after 3 years of dating and doing all that dating stuff, they got engaged in 2010. A year later, that's when they walked down the aisle in 2011 in the presence of close friends and all of them. And it was in Georgia, where he from, at the aquarium. Nick Kennan was there, and it was a great time for Kennan. Kennan got a TV show immediately. He lost all that weight, and everybody started looking at Kennan Thompson different. He was keeping the weight off after the surgery. Now, all of this is going down. Let's keep it funky. Let's keep it real funky. So, after she has kid number 1, they doing red carpets, events, everything, right? They going everywhere. These two are a power couple now. He's the face of SNL. She wants him to inspire. So she's basically the agent at home. She's running the household. She's telling him what he can eat and what he can't eat. And then he's working with his boy, Chris, who comes by, hangs out at the house, know the wife, making them laugh. He's nice with the kids, playing with the kids and everything. And he's always in high spirits and so appreciative. He comes like a virus. So Kennan is trusting of this guy, Chris, who plays the sympathy card. Now, remember that pen in there? Now we're back meeting head up with the story. Right? So now, this man who loves his wife, and now they got 2 kids, and Chris is his boy. He's there with him. Kennan is like, man, we do good work together on SNL. The skits is off the chart. You blowing up. He's sitting on the carpet, on the couches, doing interviews on TV shows, his stand-ups. People are starting to notice his name now because he's in New York doing shows at the comedy club. Then what happened? What always happens? Life intervenes yet again. They come in the game, and he plays this, I'm in pain and no one's trying to help me. No one understands me, and the wife falls for it. She's falling for his sympathy. He's calling when he knows Kennan ain't home. You calling his house when you know he ain't home. You know where he is. I was looking for Kennan. I hit his phone up. You hit his phone up because you know he's right now testing. He down there at SNL or whatever. He can't answer his phone. He gonna hit you back later once he see you call. And you just want to talk to her on the phone. That's why you call. So when you say it ain't a plot, you're lying. You're lying. You plotted on the man's wife. At least had the balls enough to own it. You plotted on this man's wife, who did nothing but stand up for you. Treated you like a brother. And this is how you repay him. So immediately, I can't tell you when it took place, but all of a sudden, I got to get him help because this dude was selling Adderall with his homeboy who he was hanging with. What did Kennan tell you, dog? You finna throw your career away before you even get one. You finna throw your career away before you even get one. She decides, oh, well, I'm going to get him some help. Of course. Man, everybody know what happened. It's not a surprise to anybody that know what's going on. That's why I said it's never gonna be that because we all know what was going on. Kennan was giving her that good burger. She never loved him. This was her opportunity. Chris is starting to blow up. Dog, it happens in this industry. If he said Kennan and Kel have had the worst luck with women they love. Man, this happened to everybody in Hollywood. It's Hollywood. If you go to Hollywood, that's like saying I'm going to the strip club looking for love. You've already put yourself as the mark. If you don't treat the strip club as like what it is and what it's for, you go in there like, I think I found a wife. If you go in there for that, where you meet at? The strip club. Man, move on. Stop playing. It's like, are you serious? So Kennan's, this is his wife. This is everything he loves. She's the mother of his children, his brand. All of this is a problem. So here's the thing. Kennan and Chris They had a talk. They found out because the wife was tripping, and she was acting way different. Energy level was off. All she cared about was helping Chris. Why every time he's gone, she's texting him, and he was running the guilt play. No one's ever been there for me, and I know you need to be at home crying and whining, and now she feels that need. I'm needed. He needs me. And she's being gamed and used in this situation, but she think Chris is going to be a bigger star than than Kennan. Kennan is loved, but SNL is all he's going to be able to do. He missed out on a big role, but she's watching the rise of Chris on Saturday Night Live. Like, he's going to be able to do movies. He's going to go here. He's going to do all these things. And if I help get him clean and I'm with him, I can go to the next level. I won't just be on NBC. Now I'm on the red carpet for motion pictures. I got 2 kids by Kennan. I can get that money anytime. I'm taking care of them. I'm going to tie my cart to him. So all of a sudden, now this is the man I love. So while he's sleeping with this man's wife, they was like, oh, we got to break this to Kennan. It didn't happen that way. Kennan found out through other people that was telling him, something's off. You need to check in on your wife. Something's up. And they getting in fights. And then he found out what was going on. And it wasn't cool. And you and Kennan spoke. And they said, look, I'm finna file that we separated. Kennan is getting a divorce ASAP. And we separated. He don't want this to dominate the papers and all that. So he don't do it this way. Everybody stay quiet. Everybody go to work. No problem. Kennan don't want to talk to dude. Okay? That's just how it is. We're going to work, do this, but it's dead. So for months, this was trying to happen. But how did it start to leak? Because everybody at SNL knew you was on borrowed time. You wasn't going to be there no more. You was going to be up out of there. So you decided to start leaking stuff. Everything was going good till you decided. She wasn't saying nothing to nobody. Kennan didn't say nothing to nobody. Only way this could have got out was you. That's the only way it could have got out was you. Now it's starting to come out. Months after it didn't happen, all of a sudden, you dating her, and she with you now. Y'all separated. You in the house that Kennan is paying for with his kids. Bruh. Now, this when it goes to another level. So, all of this news is breaking. He's getting ready to do a comedy set at the Comedy Cellar. Right? Kennan Thompson announced in the summer, that was June. So it was June, July, August, September, October, November. So almost about 6 months later, all this stuff break out about how Chris and her together and blah, 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 right? It's all in the papers, it's in TMZs, it's everywhere. But he never spoke on it. Then this happened. Now he got a comedy set to do. He's going to walk to do his show in New York. There he is right there. There's the old Chris Reed. He's walking to go do his show in New York. And as soon as he's getting ready to come in, boom! He gets dropped like a bad habit. And my man started kicking on the floor. And the guy who did it right here decides, pew! He takes off. So somebody took off on him.
That's former SNL cast member Chris Redd walking down McDougal Street, heading to a gig at the Comedy Cellar Wednesday night, when he's suddenly punched in the nose and collapses onto the sidewalk.
He had his nose cracked, not broken, but, split. And a lot of blood was coming out.
Fabrizio Cavalacci owns Cafe Reggio next door. He was outside when the attack happened around 9:40 p.m. and immediately heard the commotion.
A whole bunch of people gathered there, and they really bashed the poor guy. He was really bleeding a lot.
He says right away people sprang in to help, and police officers were thankfully close by.
One of the managers, she was trying to stop the bleeding. Then after an ambulance came, we took a pail of hot water to clean the sidewalk because it was really messy.
Redd was reportedly taken to Bellevue Hospital for his injuries. Police say the suspect in the attack fled. Cavalacci, meanwhile, says right after the attack, he watched two people run off down McDougal Street. He also says he's noticed that crimes like these are happening more frequently. And we reached out to both the venue and to Redd's publicists for comment, and neither have responded to our request.
Now, as you can see, exactly. As you can see, this is where the scenario turned. He know what happened. He know how he got hit. He know why he was hit. They knew it was you. You were salty about losing SNL because they didn't tolerate that. They didn't like that. It was either Kennan, Thompson, or you. And they stood with Kennan Thompson. So you had to go. You know why you had to go and everything. This messed you all the way up in the business. Because nobody like in Hollywood, somebody that they know could snake their wife. Those guys don't make it. You got to be somebody in Hollywood first before you start doing something like that. You can't be on an up and coming and then have that happen. Because the people in power will make sure you'll never be around their wife or never be around them. They don't trust you. Got dipped on with brass knuckles. They had brass knucks. Hit him with brass knucks on. And he was like, and that's why he tell the story. Man, anybody know, I would have got down. But when I got hit, I just like, I'll take that. I'll take that one hit. Did you see how he took that one hit? He was on the ground kicking like a girl. Now, oh yeah, he missed some days and Yeah, he had like 2 black eyes. He was messed up. No joke. So him talking like, all right, so everything he's saying, like, oh, I could have ate that. I was gonna eat that. No, you weren't, dog. You could, if you was gonna eat that, you would have ate that. I decided not to fight back. You were in no shape to fight back. There was nothing you could do, bro. There was nothing you could do. Do you see that man face? What is he fighting back? That's off one punch. One punch with some brass knuckles, and you thought you was in position to fight. Yeah, he got brass knuckle down. So, and they hit him with one punch. Jersey, yay, like I'm behind. This happened in New York. Your neck of the woods. Now, with all this going down, and as crazy as it is, this snake dude who's around your kids all the time, this snake dude who came in these kids' family and everything, the onus still goes to this wife. You know, everybody talking about, yeah, he did that, he did that. She was married to Kennan. She made the mistake. She did all this. She made this happen. Yes, hit the like button up. Appreciate it. Cash App is Casino. You know what it is. Yeah, it hurt bad. But instead of that, he come right out and started talking like, man, I just took that little punch. It was nothing. I decided not to fight back. You know, I felt like, okay, I earned that one. I'll take that one. You see, but it's the snakeness of it that make people say, man, that's crazy. Like, this dude is really, really out here like that. Like, after doing that. It was like, really? She's out here like that? Oh, they were everywhere. Once it started going to the papers and she was all humiliated, she was trying to make it save her image by saying, oh, me and Kennan was already separating and all this stuff. This had nothing. Chris didn't break up the relationship. Like, we already had problems. Man, ain't nobody buying that. Ain't nobody buying that. Chris knew that was some bull. She knew it was some bull. You know what I'm saying? That's just how they operate, though. So the real snake is this female. She the real snake. She's the real snake in the situation. Let all that sink in. But see, this is what you got to understand, though. Even though we see the scenarios and how they were and how they played out, this is the woman that kept switching up, kept doing anything she can. Now, you better hope Chris turn into something. You got to stick with him now. But don't nobody deal with him no more. And now Chris he ain't skinny no more. He fat as hell. Remember you had Kennan Thompson on the diet. Kennan back better than ever. He's still on the rise. And he there for his 2 daughters. But this is what happened when you marry the wrong thing. It was the wrong thing when you met it. She was the wrong one, Kennan. Kel's first wife, we never had an argument. It was at one point I spoke to her more than I spoke to Kel. But I didn't want her. I would never sleep with her. I'm not saying she offered, but she was, what we call it is very Californian. She was very delusional and airheaded at times. Like she was putting herself in a situation. I'm like, what is she doing out here? She's out there doing jump rope and a sports bra, got her boobs jumping up and down, playing with Kel's sister. And right across the street is the Four Corner Hustlers sitting on the porch. He can't go nowhere because he on house arrest. I was like, oh, hell no. He looking like, who is that? He trying to get her to come over because he on house arrest sitting on the porch. He can't get off that porch. So I had to call Kel immediately. I said, Kel, tell your wife to get in the house, please. She's out here in a sports bra and got her boobies just jumping up and down all outside in front of it. Now all the Four Corner Hustlers is coming over. He didn't call people to go over there to entice her to come over. Will you please tell her to get in the house? Both parties, god awful. Right, it's god awful. So it was a bad situation. It turned to a real bad, dark time for Kel. All the stuff that went on with her, his first wife. And that's when we lost contact. Like I had lost contact with him for a while because she got him to cut off all his friends, even his family, and she just wanted him because that's all she wanted. Like you, mine, everybody else getting cut off. He said, now she's stuck. Now she was looking for another come up. Now she's dealing with a dude who's now on house arrest. This is how it worked, though. That's how karma worked. That's how all of these scenarios start to play out. You know they wrong when you're doing it. That's what I'm saying. It's like, where do you think the end game gonna be? You know, I know what he was thinking. Like, look, I need to find the talent agency did you wrong. And he like, oh, you gave me the wrong one. But that was going to get you taken seriously in Hollywood. You got to have a wife. You got to have some romantic other or some kids they can put on the red carpet so they can do business with you. Got to lose and be a certain weight. You can't be this big dude no more. But Kennan Thompson is talented. He's funny. He's naturally funny. He can make people laugh without even trying. This guy here is a performer. Chris Redd is a performer. And it's still dudes that wanted to put hands and feet on him over this. If it wasn't for Kennan Thompson, it was some people that was going to stomp you out just off GP. And off this video you just did, you might get hit in the other eye. You might get hit again. Right when he about to get out there, crack. Oh, he got knocked out in the crowd. He was just about to get on stage. Yeah, so now he want to use this. I'm going to talk about this for the first time. Okay. Your career is still not going anywhere. So you can cash in on this now. You and her can cash in on it. Talking about you found love. No, you didn't. This ain't love. This is lust. I mean, whoever sucker punched dude, it should have been done. It should have been done. I had no problem with him getting punched. And he seemed to love the fact he got punched. It gave him some fame. So now that you wanted to address the relationship, you wanted to bring this into the public eye again, you wanted to drag this out. Nobody else said drag it out. You wanted to. So because you did this and played the role to try to promote your little show, you chose this, bruh. You chose this lifestyle. You chose to be the snake you are. This is your character. This is who you are, dog. You are a snake. You came and snaked a man's wife, and you gotta own it. Now, everybody in here who married, Jersey, yeah, you married. With kids. If Joe Cool was in here, he normally get the notifications late. But if Joe Cool was in here, it would be the same thing. Dude foul, and he a snake, but she's worse. The woman is worse. You're a wife. if you don't want to be with your husband no more, you let your husband know. But for you to be foul and disrespectful, you are the mother of his children, and you go and creep with his friend. Especially when he's earning the money, you living in a plush house, you getting decorating, you get to do everything you want to do with his money. Like, I'm going to decorate, and I'm going to get a decorating business because I want to earn my share. No, you wanted to get famous. You wanted to be famous just like him and work in the business. But you don't have any talent, babe. You don't. Your talent is playing and selling yourself short. You messed up with somebody who was going places, who's already there, for some up and coming con artists. Now, Ye, let's say you had a friend, right, who you let in your house with around your kids, and then your wife started messing around with him. How would Jersey Ye handle this situation? Brass knuckles. Jersey A about to hit somebody who ain't did nothing. He was like, man, what you hit me for, man? Cause I see you the way you turned and looked at her and said something. Jersey A gonna turn around and crack somebody. Hey. He was like, just in case. That's the dynamic in the time everybody's on. Oh, you know it. Of course, the marriage is a business transaction for sure. But a snake will be a snake, and that's that. So don't forget to go to the Patreon. You can find out some more over there. Don't forget to go through the search engine, the magnet ball. We've proven that. We showed the patent that it exists. All of that, you can, if you want to read it and download it, we got all of that on the Patreon right now. And we out. Shouts out to Jersey Ye, Kwame Brown, Bus Life. Welcome to HDII TV, Sports Talk with Jose Rodriguez. And we out.